An unbelievable scene here at Talladega Superspeedway. The fans have been ready for this one for a long time. The crews are getting ready to go racing.
Time for a closer look at our points battle. It's for real, and it's on. Todd Bodine has a 91-point lead over Johnny Benson. Here's the deal. 5 races ago, Todd led the points by 182. In those 5 races, JB's team has gained 91 points over the Lumber Liquidator Tundra, an average of 18.2 points a race. Well, guess what? We have 6 races to go, and all Johnny needs is a little over 15 points a race to become the champion. Throwing out the numbers, JB needs to keep the 30 truck behind his back bumper for the rest of the season.
And we've always known that this race at Talladega is going to be a big variable in that chase for the championship. JB just 91 back. Look at Sprague and Bliss. They're separated by just 7 points, and Terry Cook holds on to 10th, just 13 points ahead of Dennis Setzer. Great points battle we've got going on, Kyle, but boy, what a variable we've got today. And you look at this racetrack, and I mean, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Nobody knows exactly what to expect. We've got a completely different scenario we've ever seen. You know, being at Daytona, we know what Daytona looks forward to, but we don't know what Talladega looks forward to. Hopefully some great racing here today, and we can just kind of battle it out for the championship with Todd Bodine and Johnny Benson.
I think it's going to be pretty exciting. Now let's find out who Chris Devoda think is going to be at the front of the field today when we see that checkered flag.
Well, we mentioned Mike Wallace, Joe Nemechek, some Cup guys who are making an appearance here in the Truck Series. I like them. I think our truck regular to watch, though, is going to be Rick Crawford, the Alabama native. He's going to bring a win back to the state of Alabama. Hermie, who do you like?
Well, Krista, you took my pick. I was going to say Rick Crawford also, but the one to watch for, Johnny Benson, has always run well in these kind of tracks. A lot of experience, and he knows that he needs to make a statement to get back in this points race and put pressure on Todd Bodine.
Thank you, Hermie and Krista. Kyle, we're almost out of time. I want to know, who do you think is going to be in victory lane today?
Well, I'm going to go with the ex-Intimidator teammate with Mike Skinner. We're going to see how that number 5 truck comes through the field today.
All right, well, I don't know if you can beat Mark Martin, but I'll tell you what, his teammate Eric Darnell was awfully good at Daytona. I think that 99 truck might be up front at the end of the day today. It is just about time for those words that everybody loves, folks. Let's go down trackside.
And now, race fans, it's time for the most famous words in motorsports. Will you please welcome Product Promotions Manager from the John Deere Company, Dan Walls, for the famous command.
On behalf of John Deere, our dealers and our customers, drivers, start your engines!
The engines are fired up. 36 drivers today have the dream of being the first ever truck driver to tame Talladega. Let's be perfectly honest, to prevail here, you're going to need some racing luck.
There's a first time for everything. A track where one mistake can end season aspirations. For the first time in series history, the trucks take the green flag at Talladega Superspeedway.
190, 195, 200 miles an hour. 200 miles an hour? Crikeys.
If you think the cars are exciting 3 wide, 43 deep, wait till you see the trucks 5 wide, 30-60.
You thought Daytona was action-packed? You hadn't seen anything yet.
Daytona on steroids. It's going to be bigger, faster, meaner. First time ever for the trucks at Talladega, so if you come and watch this, you're going to see history in the making.
The wait's over. Super Speedway racing from Talladega. Welcome to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series John Deere 250. A year ago, when the schedule came out for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, everyone circled October 7th as the race that they were going to focus on. Talladega for the trucks. Phil, you've won at this raceway. What are we going to expect today for the trucks?
I'm telling you, Rick, from the time they opened practice yesterday or the day before, these trucks were 2 wide, 3 wide, 4 wide, even 5 wide, all the way around this racetrack. The track is so wicked smooth that the trucks aren't jumping around any. It's going to be such an outstanding race. We're going to see trucks going to the high side, to the bottom, maybe on the apron. They're going to be all over this racetrack racing for this win. And Michael, you've been fortunate enough to win at this racetrack. What do you think we're going to see?
I think if I'm channel surfing, stop. You're not going to believe what's going to take place on speed over the next couple of hours. This place is crazy, like you said. It's a track that demands you respect it, but nobody wants to. Everybody wants to push the gas pedal and crowd and make their way to the front. Maybe the drivers are normal, you ask. Sorry, Phil, they can't be. We got a 47-year-old dad on the pole, a 20-year-old kid from Georgia second. There's an African-American, a woman, an Aussie, and a Hispanic driver in this field. They come from all walks of life, and they seem normal enough, but as soon as that green flag waves, they lose their brains, and they go at it hard until the checkered flag waves when they regain some sanity, but not a whole lot.
94 laps is what we're going to be running here for the Truck Series. They're going around in the pace laps. When we come back, we'll see the green flag.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on Speed is brought to you by the official tools of NASCAR, Craftsman, by Team Chevy and the 2006 Monte Carlo SS, now with the legendary small block V8, Chevy, an American Revolution, and by Fastenal, quality products and service from quality people. Expect it from Fastenal.
Spectacular crowd on hand to watch the first ever race at Talladega for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. The cars moving around this 2.66 mile tri-oval super speedway. Let's take a look at our starting grid. It's going to roll across the bottom of the screen. Mark Martin will start up front as he has grabbed another pole in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. And if you remember, at Daytona to start off the season, our first super speedway race of the year, Mark Martin was on the pole.
He was, and he was able to stay in the front for most of the race, Rick. I don't see that happening today, Phil. There's too many good trucks, too many lines that these guys can choose to move around Mark. He's going to be in a hornet's nest all day long if he chooses to remain at the front.
And this is not a handling racetrack. Sometimes if you've got a good truck, it's handling well, you can stay ahead of some other guys at Daytona. Not here.
We're going to ride along with a few different drivers, and it will be an exciting ride as the trucks will get upwards of 193 miles an hour in the draft. One of those trucks we'll ride along with will be Dennis Setzer in the Chevrolet number 85, sponsored by the Shell Rotella T. And we will ride along with Dennis.
Look at him. I talked to Dennis before the race. He's starting in the back, but just like everybody in the field, Phil, he thinks he can win. It doesn't matter where you start today.
That's not at all. There's Mike Skinner right there. He's going to be starting in the 12th position. Mike is our most recent winner. Won 2 weeks ago at Las Vegas for his 19th career victory in his Toyota.
Here's Terry Cook in his truck getting ready to roll. Everybody looks calm inside those trucks, Phil, but that's not the case, is it?
They're going to be swatting flies here in just a minute.
They are. They're going to think they've gotten something they didn't want to get into.
Bobby Hamilton Jr. qualified up toward the front, but as Hamiltons have done in the past, we've heard his strategy is going to be to drop to the back and try to stay out of the potential big one that could happen at this racetrack. Let's head back down trackside and Ray Dunlap.
Well, Rick, I think that's going to be very interesting to see if that strategy works for Bobby Jr. and his teammates. When you look at the entry list today, there's only 9 drivers out there today that don't have a teammate that they can work with. But again, it's going to be who goes with who throughout the course of the day. But Bobby Jr. and his teammates are going to drop to the back and ride there because they believe there will be a big one today, and they don't want to be anywhere near it. Krista?
Well, Ray, if folks at home were watching the pace laps there, they saw one truck already drop to the back. The number 24 of A.J. Allmendinger, he's having trouble with his steering wheel. It's not aligned. It's misaligned. He cannot get it straightened. So he had to drop to the back on the backstretch, try to get that lined back up. We just saw him come around the front stretch and try to catch back up to the pack. He starts 25th. This is just his second NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race, and he's doing it at Talladega Superspeedway. Hermie?
Well, I got goosebumps, and I'm not even in the race truck today. What an exciting day, a great day for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. But monitoring these teams on pit road, you never heard so much talk about who wants to stay in the front, as you guys touched on, who's going to the back. It's about 50-50 here. It'd be interesting to see whose strategy pays off and who wins the inaugural race at Talladega. Rick?
Well, it is going to be interesting to see, and I know you may have goosebumps. I know all of us up here in the booth have got goosebumps. We watched practice on Thursday, and immediately there were 22 trucks running in a bunch, 3, 4, and 5 wide. Wayne Otten, the series director, jumped in and said, "Whoa, guys, this is our first race here, and it's not till Saturday."
I was in the NASCAR hauler talking to Wayne after that practice session. Kenny Schrader was also in there, and we were talking about that, and Kenny said, "Wait a minute, Wayne, you're the one that invited these guys to come here, so don't talk about them being 3, 4 wide. It's going to happen."
It's so funny to listen to these guys plan who's going to go to the front, who's going to go to the rear. And that's why sometimes, like at Daytona, we never saw the big one, because these guys decided to break the pack apart. Some of them went to the back, some of them went to the front. I know that green truck starting on the pole is planning on staying right there where he's at. But I just think that Talladega is too inviting. It's too easy to run wide open here. It's too easy to get 3 and 4 wide. I think these guys won't be able to resist the temptation.
I couldn't do it, Michael. I don't think I could drop to the back and ride around there, you know, hoping we don't get in the big one. I think I want to be up front racing for the lead if I can do it.
Does the smoothness of the track create a confidence for these drivers?
Yeah, and that's the worst thing they could have, because that means I think I can fit in there. The truck's handling good. I'm going for it. I'm squeezing in. I've never had any more fun guiding a car around a track as I had here at Talladega this weekend. I've been coming here for 20 years. It used to be rough as a comp. Now you just hold the steering wheel. It feels good. It feels fast. But this is going to be crazy what we're fixing to watch.
We are about to see the first ever start for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series at Talladega Superspeedway. The fans are on their feet. The green flag flies. We're underway.
It'll be interesting to see if these two in the front have a plan. Well, if they did, it just got changed.
There goes Bobby Hamilton to the inside early.
And remember, now that's the truck that's going to make its way to the back of the field to start with.
But he's going to see if the front feels okay first before he goes back there. It could get real crowded trying to get to the backfield.
3 wide already. Lap number 1, turn 2, 3 wide.
Bobby Hamilton Jr. on the point.
The only way this won't be one of the greatest races we've ever seen is if right now, 4 wide on the first few laps, these guys get together and we take out half the field. That'll mess everything up. But if that doesn't happen, this is what you're going to see for 250 miles.
What a beautiful picture watching these trucks come through 3 and 4 and into the tribal. This is the hairy part of the track.
It is? It all looks hairy to me.
Mark Martin goes back to the lead, jumps by Bobby Jr. He's got a lot of help. Now David Reagan, the 50 truck, leads another group on the outside, hangs Bobby Hamilton right in the middle. Bobby Jr. may make his way to the back, not intending to here. He's caught in the middle.
And what you have to realize, Phil, none of this matters. Only thing that matters is the end. You would feel silly if you crashed your truck on the 2nd or 3rd lap, because it doesn't, there's no reward for it. So you've got to be smart. If you don't feel comfortable where you're at, you got to slide up high, let them go, and then regroup later.
That's Scott's Ford reclaiming the point. Bobby Hamilton Jr. on the start got out in front, but he didn't actually lead a lap. Mark Martin has led the only lap run here as we come back into the trioval.
You know, so often we talk about at racetracks the bottom groove being the preferred line. Sometimes when we go to places, the top groove is the preferred line. There is no preferred line around this racetrack. Michael, the middle used to be taboo. Sometimes people now use the middle to make moves.
Oh, the middle is your friend. For some reason these days, the aerodynamics of these trucks and the cars alike, you go to the middle, you pick up 10, 15 mile an hour, it feels like you start passing people.
You mentioned aerodynamics. Some of the trucks out there, we know about a handful of them, don't have the Romeo windows on the back. They think that that's going to increase the speed a little bit. Will that also alter their aerodynamics on this track?
Well, the Romeo window is something that if you turn sideways helps hold the truck on the ground. It really doesn't do a whole lot. I think that whether you're with it or not doesn't really matter. These trucks are so glued to the road. NASCAR has them at a speed where they're comfortable. If they spin around, what'll happen? I don't think that's a factor. I think all that matters is where you place your truck, Phil. How you're able to, those trucks don't know what kind of spoiler they got on the back when they're in a pack like this. The air's going over all that.
And 4 wide right there, Michael. These guys are negotiating this corner 4 wide.
As they are 4 wide, I'm guessing there's a lot of talk going on right now on the radio, isn't there, Ray?
Yeah, absolutely, Rick. And you know, the scanner is our best friend down here on trackside because we get to hear what the drivers are talking about. Except for when you come to Talladega, because all we hear is the spotter going 3 wide, 4 wide, look outside, he's going inside. We never even hear what the drivers have to say, whether their trucks are handling good or bad. Right now, I don't think any of them could talk anyway. Krista?
Well, Ray, patience is a word we're going to hear a lot today. We've heard it all weekend because anything can happen and it can change so much at this track. I mean, things are so hairy already, and we just started. Todd Bodine started 4th. He has dropped all the way back to 11th. His spotter is telling him, be patient. He was running on the outside line. They just told him the middle is open, and that is where he just stuck himself down on the inside, and he is now just starting to pass some trucks. Also, the number 13, Kerry Earnhardt, real quick, just learned his engine is not running. That's Kerry Earnhardt, the number 13.
Kerry Earnhardt just went across the start-finish line. We saw a big puff of smoke coming out, so obviously motor problems for that team.
Now these motors are churning up some RPM. I mean, they are